Pardon my French, but we're back on our BS. And that stands for
something.
Bunch of stupid. Bunch of something.
Can you tell by my walk? Can you hear my talk? Barely cool, barely cool, barely cool, barely cool. Can't you see in my eyes that you come as no surprise? Barely cool, barely cool, barely cool. Barely cool, barely, barely cool. Barely cool, barely, barely cool. Barely cool, barely, barely cool. Barely cool, oh yeah.
Welcome back to the Barely Cool podcast. We're here. We're
You've
back.
been dying for it.
We're back.
It's been longer than it usually is between episodes because we've been uploading erratically.
Well, yeah, we've actually had a couple. Yeah, we've had a couple early ones. We had
Yeah.
a Monday special because of the election.
Yeah,
2
which
weeks
came
ago.
out Tuesday.
Then we had
I think 2 episodes came out
a
on Tuesday.
No,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
because we had a Leaf game on Monday night. Came out on Tuesday morning. We finished editing that one like 4 hours before it came out.
That was late.
Cause and I had to work the next morning at 7 a.m. That was awful.
Was it 7? I thought you said 8.
It was 7. Made me want to die.
So we edited. Episode came out like 4 hours later, and you were at work 5 hours later.
Yeah.
Awful.
Well, things you got to do for the podcast.
Yeah. People care.
They
People
care about this.
and they were going.
We've had a lot of views this week.
What are Ben and Judah going to say with mystery guest about Game 1 of Series 2 of the playoffs, Maple Leafs v. Florida Panthers?
Yeah.
And we could talk about hockey, but
Yep.
this isn't a hockey-exclusive podcast.
Nope.
And if we talk about it, we're just going to get angry and upset. So
I don't want to talk about it.
We're not going to talk about
It's
it.
too soon.
We're not going to talk about it.
The one thing I'll say is what I said to you before this. It was about max 30 minutes between third period horn and Ben is in Sleepy Town. And that included driving back to my house. I was so upset.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was sleep.
Got home, said to his wife, "I'm going to bed." And she went, "I'm sorry." You went, "Shut up."
It's
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Okay.
He didn't say shut up to
I'm
his
not
wife.
mean to her.
But he did.
She was nice to me. She
That's
consoled me.
very funny. I mean, it's not because I know how upset you were. The game had,
I care a lot. I care
think,
maybe too much.
12 seconds left. And you
Yeah.
just went, "All right, see you later."
See you later, guys.
And that was it. And you were gone.
Yeah, I left really fast. I just wanted to go to bed.
I get it.
Like the whole last 10 minutes of the third period.
Yeah.
If you just like peeped over at me, I had my hat like half on my head.
Yeah.
Maybe a quarter was like sitting on my head, and I was just like,
Yeah. I was like, I think I had a
didn't
hand
wanna
on
live.
head, and I was pulling my head back, or
Yeah.
my hat back, and I was just like splayed. And I was just like, this, please. Last 10 minutes, one would have given me hope. And honestly, I think if we got one in that last 10,
Yeah.
we would have been fired up
Yeah.
and maybe tied. I don't think we would have won. I think we would have had to win in overtime if we were going to win.
I would have stood up. Of
Of
if
course.
we got one. But you know what? We don't talk about Leafs on this podcast. It's too soon.
It's too soon, and we're not a hockey podcast, okay? We are a nothing podcast. I had another person in my life. It's funny. We've been doing this for so long, and I still have people in my life going, "So I heard you do a podcast?" And I have to
6.5 years later.
and that's my
Yeah.
that's my joke because
I do.
I'm always like, "Oh yeah, not for so like." Just kind of started 6.5 years ago.
That's a good one. That's good. Just been doing it for a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
How long?
About 6.5 years.
Oh, that's a while.
Yeah. Well, and then you get the immediate follow-up joke. "Oh, so you got a lot of listeners?" Not really.
Nice. There you go.
No, we've
We've been doing it for nobody.
Yeah, for 6.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're back to it. We're back to nothing. We're back to anecdotes. Fun. Ben texted me earlier this week, and he said, "I got 2 things I got to talk to you about."
Yeah.
And then right before we start
What were the 2
recording, I
things?
went, "I had something I need to talk to Ben about." I know the 2 things. You want me to jog your memory? Because you sent.
No, it's okay. You keep talking about your thing. I'll just go back in our text.
Oh, you're gonna pull it up?
Yeah, I'll go back until I can find something.
You gonna pull it up? We were talking about the Catholic Church. Oh, remind me to tell you.
Yeah, we were talking about a lot
Wednesday.
of Catholic Church.
Text me
yeah,
on
there
Wednesday.
it is.
Yeah. It's a 30-second
oh,
story.
yeah.
I think it's sweet.
No, it's no. Anyways, yeah. So I was in Judah's old stomping ground, Bradford, Ontario.
What?
Oh,
Tilt it.
Bradford,
There we go.
Ontario. Bradford, Ontario, Canada.
Oh, lost it again. Guys, we're having mic cable trouble. And could I buy another cable for $30? Yeah.
But it's just we prefer to struggle. It's part of our brand.
Yeah.
What's struggle in Latin? What's a Latin word that means struggle? What's like a Latin phrase? You know, that somebody, it was on like a seal of some kind, and it was like, with life with no struggle is, you know, empty.
I got it.
But in Latin.
Certamen.
Yeah.
Certamen.
Okay, but I want like a phrase.
Vini vidi certamen. I came, I saw, struggle.
I struggled. Struggle. There's gotta be something.
Life without
to struggle is
life without
existence.
struggle is a life without success.
That's a good one, but in Latin.
Okay. Latin phrases about struggle. I got it. Oh, here's a good one. Per aspera ad astra.
Ooh, what does
Through
it mean?
hardships to the stars.
Nice. Okay, put that across the screen, Ben.
I already forgotten it. Per aspera ad astra.
Per aspera ad astra. Boom, it's there. That's the motto of the Barely Cool podcast. Through hardship. This is hardship.
To the stars.
To the stars.
And
That's where we're headed.
We're going to be our names are going to be in shining lights.
Shining in the stars. Anyways, so
Tell me your story.
I was in your stomping ground, your old stomping ground, Bradford, and I had to get what did I have to get? To get potatoes.
potatoes.
I had people coming over, and I was gonna make chicken, which I already had the chicken, and I needed potatoes, so I stopped for potatoes.
Yeah.
So I parked in the thing. That's a small parking lot, by the way.
Not big,
Aggressively small,
but kind of fun.
well, yeah,
It's like recessed.
it is interesting.
It's kind anyway.
So, anyways, I parked third from the divider that was at the front. So kind of close, but not super close. But I mean,
Okay.
in that parking lot, everything's close. And so I go in, I get my potatoes, I come out, and to my displeasure, and me and niece come out, and there's somebody parked, like. So my car is like here, right?
Yeah.
Somebody had come from this direction.
Yeah.
And pulled in like, this is my car.
Yeah.
Like this.
Okay.
So they were like, it looked like they had swiped our car on the way by.
Yeah.
And there was like an inch of space to get my driver's side door open. They were in our parking space.
Yeah.
Like this close to our car.
Yeah.
And like I walked out there and I couldn't believe it. And I
Yeah.
was like, they weren't even in their parking space.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does somebody park like this and get out of their car and
Yeah.
go, that's good.
Yeah.
I can go into no frills now.
Yeah. Can I tell you? So funny that happened to you, because I was at Walmart with my wife. Perhaps yesterday, according to her.
Yeah?
Said, yeah, it's on the way
Yesterday.
to the thing. Anyway,
On the way to the thing.
doesn't matter where it was. Yeah. I pull in. I'm pulling into a spot.
Yeah.
And it's cart corral, open spot, other car.
Yeah.
And I go, all right, perfect. I don't love parking next to the cart corral because just by the very nature of it being there, you
Yeah.
don't have a ton of room on the driver's side.
Yeah.
And then as I'm pulling in, I see that the guy who's parked to the right of this spot is, sure enough, same thing. The front of their car is angled into the spot.
Yeah.
And I go, well, I look at my wife and I go, are you okay to struggle for the principle of this? and she goes, yeah. And so I park so close to this guy's driver's side because I'm like,
That's the play.
you got to learn. Like, you can't. I was fully within our spot because he was in our spot.
Yeah.
He's going to have to struggle.
Yeah.
And I went, he's going to learn. And then we were in and out of that store before whoever that was. So then we had to double struggle.
So nobody learned.
So then Maddie
you just had to struggle twice.
Yeah, and they never learned a lesson. And I had to, like, Maddie was like, I'm not doing this again, pull up. Because by that point, the parking spot in front of us had moved. So she's like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to just. And I was like, that would have been so good.
That would have been awesome.
But actually,
It made me-
I was nervous because as we were walking out, there was a couple walking in front of us, and it looked like they were gonna. That was the car, and I was like, "Well, I don't want to.
Oh, no,
I don't want to have this
the
confrontation in
interaction with
person.
them. No.
Because then they're gonna be like, "Hey, what'd you?" And I'd have to be like, "Well,
Yeah.
it's actually. It seems like it was more you.
You're kind of over.
Yeah, I want them to have to
Yeah.
think about it
Yeah.
in the emptiness of the parking lot. I don't understand.
But I don't. It blew my mind. They
I don't get it.
It looks like they had like. I just got to run in and get one thing.
Yeah.
And had like peeled in, and then they like. I'm not even kidding. Like your foot to that table was how much space was left for my driver's side door to open, and like I wanted to. I mimed it for Nice. If it didn't damage our own car, I was like, I just wanted to rip my driver's side door into the side of their car and dent the hell out of it.
Yeah.
But I was like, just so you can come out to a dent and be like, maybe don't park a nanometer away from someone's car. But this isn't even the funniest part of it. So I was like, we were just like stood there kind of in disbelief, and then I had to like shimmy my way into the car. Thank God it was me and not Anissa.
Because that would be annoying.
It would be annoying for
a
her.
woman you love.
For the woman I love. That was my wink.
Yeah.
And
it gets
okay, so we
funnier.
get in the car. And I just like, and we're just kind of sitting there, and we're just chatting. Like, can you believe this is nuts?
Yeah.
And then we look up, and like parking space in front of us, like that we could pull through to, and then the other parking space with a gap for cars to drive with over there. Some like old guy sitting in like a red like muscle car that looks old.
Yeah.
And he's just got he's out the window. He's just got his arm up.
Yeah.
And we lock eyes, and he just goes. And in the moment, it was so simultaneously funny but vindicating. To have this guy who's clearly like his wife is grocery shopping. And he's just like sitting watching.
He watched you struggle.
All unfold. He watched me shimmy in. He watched me like mime slamming the door. He watched it all. And he just, his arms out, and he just goes and slams his hand back down on the thing. And then I was just like, and then I went with this. I was like, did one of these for him. Can you believe this? And I felt so heard.
What a beautiful moment of humanity.
I know, right?
That's awesome.
I know. I thought it was so sweet. And then as I'm pulling out, I'm like, I flash him my hand up, and he's like, his hand again.
Yeah.
He gives me one of these, quick wave.
Yeah.
I go, oh, Bradford's a nice place, except for this one guy who blocked my car in.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was my...
I think it's less about putting it back in and just giving it like just a little nudge until it comes back.
Yeah.
At some point, we might actually be taped together. We might actually just tape
We
that.
might just have to.
Or buy another.
But anyway,
cord.
so liked that guy.
That's awesome.
Loved him.
Yeah.
Loved him. Thank you for guy in the parking lot. I don't know. It was something about, it's not like from the inside of his car he was like this. It was the fact that his hand was outside of his car, and he just gives you one of these. Can you believe that? And I go... But anyways, later on that day, I was in Innisfil, and I was in the park, and I saw two dogs just going at it.
How long did you watch? Would you say?
A long time. I was trying to get a video so I could send it to you. No, the owners, dude, it was like clearly two dogs that did not know each other.
Okay.
Because one guy was in a car and another guy was like standing outside the car, and his car was parked, and they were just chatting while their dogs were like playing.
Yeah.
And at first they were just playing.
Yeah.
And so me and Nice, we were walking. It was in Innisfil.
Yeah.
We were walking in Innisfil by the water because we had an appointment in there, and we were waiting for the appointment time.
Right, and it's beautiful.
And it was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So.
And then it became even more beautiful.
Well, it was hilarious. So because usually a dog will mount another dog.
Yeah.
But very rarely will they actually get in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Before the other
It's
dog
just kind of like
either
a
runs
shaking.
off. It's just kind of a shimmy.
Yeah.
Maybe a slight thrust, but nothing's in.
Yeah.
Right? These dogs were procreating. This penis of this dog was in the other dog. And I'm not even sure that this other dog was female. Might have been male.
Okay.
We might have been doing some bumhole action.
Gay
I don't know
dog.
what was going on.
Gay
All
dog.
I saw was one dog's erect penis in the hole of another dog.
Yeah.
I didn't get a good enough
You don't
look
know
to
enough
see
about
if
dog anatomy to know whether that's
whether if it's
vagina
or a bum.
a beehole.
But these dogs were just raw dogging.
Literally. What kind of dogs are we talking?
I don't know. German Shepherds, maybe.
You're good. I think.
Am I good?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
Both German Shepherds.
I don't know. It was maybe like they were like large dogs.
Yeah.
They looked kind of like scary.
They look like
if they ran at you with their teeth out, you'd be a little scared.
Yeah. Same.
Definitely not fixed.
Same breed.
Definitely not fixed. Definitely similar breeds.
Okay. Interesting. And then
But the owners were just like watching.
Oh. It wasn't like oh, our dogs are playing, now we're looking away chatting, and then they turn back and they're
the
like,
owners were watching it happen and just letting it happen. They were laughing about it. Oh, look at these. This thing keeps going down. It's pissing me off. The owners were just kind of like, look at them. And I'm like, I understand laughing if your dog is like getting mounted and then keeps kind of running away.
Yeah.
And it's like, look at them. It's so funny. They're in heat. But no, these dogs were like, they were having sex
yeah.
in the park.
I mean, the one dog
They kept running around, running around.
Yeah.
They'd mount again.
The one dog could be fixed maybe.
Maybe.
And then they're just like, this is just them having fun.
Just let them go at it.
Yeah.
It was surreal to watch. Because at one point they got probably about 10 feet away from us. So we had a front row seat.
Right.
To these dogs just going at it.
Now, were you sitting or did you stop the walk?
No, we stopped the walk to watch.
And you just went...
Well, I actually had it looked pretty depraved if you didn't know who I was, but I had my phone out because I was trying to get a shot of this so I could send it to you.
Yeah. Which I like how you're like, this would have looked pretty depraved if you don't know me. As if like exactly what you were doing is it's not any less.
No, but they might have thought that it was like for me, for like my own sick twisted
You're like,
enjoyment. Oh,
thank God.
I gotta get this so I can review it later.
Right. And
You
you're
know,
like,
on
no,
my TV
no,
at home.
This is for my friend who's gonna find this silly. It's
I
funny
wanted to
me.
send it to you so that I could just be like, I don't know. I would have come up with something funny.
Oh, I'm sure I would have died.
And I would have sent it to you, and it would have been dogs 10 feet from me, like a clear shot.
It would have been you would have sent like me and you be like
something like that. I would have come up with something funny.
Yeah.
But I was blown away because it was like I've never seen dogs.
I know exactly.
Actually go at it.
Yeah.
I've seen some humping. I've seen
what's
like
sad
what
is because I'm right there with you, right? And my in-laws used to have a dog, very beautiful husky.
Yeah.
Full white husky. And they were like, you know what? He's getting up there, but he's not quite super old. Maybe we'll try and breed him, stud him out. And they had another family friend who had like a female husky, and they're like, well, maybe we'll try,
Put them
and
together.
then
See what happens.
It's just a one-off, and then you can sell these husky puppies to local friends or whatever, or just have them. Because I think he was getting a little old, so it's like,
So they wanted to get another husky.
Maybe we'll have our next family dog. And I think they missed their window.
He was impotent.
No, he couldn't even. He was too old. He did that.
Couldn't even mount.
He mounted and did like 2 half thrusts, didn't get in, and just dropped, and like went like
That's so sad.
And it was just like, oh man,
That's like an old man who needs Viagra. It's just like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Impotence is sad.
It is.
It is.
I wouldn't know. I don't think.
I mean, as far as I know.
Hard to know.
Everything's working. Hard to know, though.
Hard to know.
But anyways, it's I'm to this. I'm still pissed I didn't get a video.
How did you not get the video?
So they were going at it 10, and
you went, oh geez.
Well, it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, I should get a video of this.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting my phone out, and I'm kind of half nonchalantly trying to video. Like I'm not just popping it out in front of you.
Whoa!
I'm trying to do like at least a little bit.
Yeah. You do
You
that
know.
thing where you're like, oh, hey, let me.
Yeah, just so that people aren't, because there's a lot of people in the
Yeah,
park.
you pretend to have a phone call.
And then while I'm trying to get this going, they ran off, and then they were like 30 feet away,
Right.
and you wouldn't have been able to see a thing.
Right.
Like maybe if I had zoomed in, you would have seen like this
Come
dog
back!
just going at it.
Come back.
Yeah, come bone here.
You're chasing after them.
I just
That's so funny.
still to this moment I'm thinking and I'm going, wow, I've never seen dogs. I've never seen it
No.
going in and out like
Yeah.
that.
Well, and rarely
They were having a good time, both of the dogs.
Rarely
This
do
was
you
not a
get-
situation where the male dog was chasing after a woman who did not
Right.
want it,
right.
or another man.
As
perhaps.
far as you could tell, they were
This
both
other,
loving
as
it.
far as I can tell, being someone who's never watched dogs go at it, it looked like they were both enjoying it.
Right. Huh.
As is the case with most animal sex, it did look like the man was enjoying it more.
Well,
The man who was mounting.
right, because it could have still been.
It could have still been
yes.
another man. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. It's rare you get such a front row seat to something like that. You hear about it. Yeah, I mean,
I've never seen it.
it's one of the you don't know.
It's beautiful.
You don't know what you don't know until you realize you don't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know until you realize you don't know. You know.
Yeah. You know. I know.
And I was sitting out today.
I know what I don't know until I don't know it.
No. I was sitting out today because beautiful day, and I was reading on the little patio, and
Were you
yeah, I was outside.
on your patio?
Yes,
Yes.
beautiful day. Had a little cup of coffee.
It
and
was gorgeous today.
so nice, and I'm reading.
So nice. For those of you who are watching this days later, it's May 12th.
Yeah.
Beautiful day, May 12th.
Remember when it was beautiful on May 12th? If you live near us and also experienced outside,
In Newmarket, Ontario.
yeah, maybe it wasn't
What's your
nice
address?
everywhere. No. Yeah, you know, I don't want you in the comments going. Actually, in Bosnia, it was actually really not nice. I live in the Congo, and actually, it's really not nice here, but mostly for political reasons and war. But the weather was actually beautiful, though. Hard to complain. Yeah, don't comment that.
We don't want to hear about it.
I don't like thinking about tragedies. Hide them.
We would rather know, live blissfully ignorant.
Yes. I don't even want to know about a bad thing that happened to my next door neighbor. Oh, yeah.
Yuck.
Oh, it's really hard. Yet no.
Personal intimacy with my close neighbors.
No, tell me something funny.
Say something funny, Rick.
Oh, yeah. It's just hard since Susan left. Yeah, I bet it's hard for me to hear about it. Don't care.
Say something funny, Rick. You know what's funny? Divorce. You right, Rick? He's divorced. In front of all the neighbors.
And then he gets
Oh.
mad and you go, what? You can't handle a little dark humor? It's called dark humor, Rick.
You get it. You
starts
get me.
crying.
You get me. You get me. I like to dabble in dark humor.
Dark humor. But anyway, I'm reading.
So yeah, you read.
I'm reading. And a beautiful bumblebee flies by.
Not a wasp.
No.
A
Well, there
bumblebee.
was a wasp at 1.2, but I went, he's not bothering me. It was like a mud dauber.
I would
so
have killed him.
he wasn't doing nothing.
Wasps are scum.
He wasn't doing nothing. Leave him alone.
I have a prejudice for wasps. I discriminate against
It was
wasps.
like a mud dauber. Like, it's like nothing. They barely sting. I'm not hitting it bare hand.
Well, no, but with a glove on.
He wasn't
A
close.
specialty wasp
You got a wasp glove?
slapper glove. I plug it into electricity. Plugs in.
Oh, like
Zaps
Iron
him.
Man?
Yeah.
You go, yeah,
Knocks
that's
him
awesome.
down. Yeah.
You get to, like, when you flick your wrist, it zaps. So you're like, bzz, bzz. And then you hit him with, like, Palpatine.
Yeah. Yes. No, I hate wasps. They're dumb.
That's fine.
They don't do anything good.
Well, okay, so what happened at first, it was kind of funny in a way. Not really, but funny in isn't life special? So I hear
Right.
buzzing, and I go, oh, a bumblebee. And I turn, and it's a mud dauber wasp, and I go, oh. And I keep reading, and then I hear buzzing again, and I almost don't look. Oh my God, it's the friggin' wasp again. But no, big, beautiful, fat bumblebee.
I love bumblebees.
And then I realize I'm 27 years old at this point in my life. I don't know anything about bumblebees. I sit there and
Haven't
I go,
you seen the Bee movie?
well, here's the thing. So then I go, the first thought that pops in my head is are bumblebees bees that are just different? Or are they a different species? That was the first thought that popped in my head. And I know that they're a different species, but my brain went, yeah, but what if they're not? Like, are these, because like honeybees, like there's worker bees, there's the queen bee, like there's subsections within a species. So I go, no shot. This is a subsection of a honeybee. It's like its own thing.
No.
No, you think that's wrong?
No, it's its own thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But then I go,
Like it's still a bee,
It is, but it's not a
but
honeybee.
it's another species
Yes.
of a bee.
So, but then I go, I had never seen a bumblebee nest. What is a a bee's nest? I know, like a honeybee's nest or whatever, honeycomb. I know the whole jazz. But I go, what does a bumblebee's nest look like? And I all of a sudden I'm faced with this awakening of ignorance. Going, wow,
You know, I have never seen a bumblebee nest.
that's what I'm saying. So,
What does it look like?
Well, I'll tell you.
Educate me.
Most of them are underground. Yes,
Bumblebees live underground.
apparently they'll create a little nest, usually in like evacuated like rodent tunnels, and they'll just like they're kind of like opportunistic in that way, where they'll just be like, oh, perfect, someone already laid the foundation.
Like in Minecraft.
Now I can just build a house. What do you mean, like in Minecraft?
I build into mountains in Minecraft.
Oh, of course, yeah, of course. You go, wow, look at this natural cave.
Look at this beautiful thing. I'm gonna build a house out of it.
And if I dig tall enough, right up through the top, I get a really tall skylight. You ever do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
then you pour
And then
lava.
I build a deck.
You pour lava going down.
Yeah.
So it's-
dude, I had a crazy one time.
I bet.
Bunch of decks, bunch of stairs leading to those decks.
Dude, you have such a nice
Different.
deck.
Thank you. Different levels. Some levels were farm levels.
Yeah.
Some were lounging levels.
No one has. Here's the thing. Everyone.
It was like a 7-tier house.
Yeah. Well, you've got a big deck.
Thank you.
I've always said that about you.
I like to think that as well.
Try.
I like to think that as well.
Just getting filled with rage. So that I learned that. I went, wow, I never knew that. And then he was still flying by, and I just went, peace be with you, little bumblebee. Have fun living in dirt. Honeybees for life. No, I'm kidding. I didn't do that. I held out my finger.
Why would you even
I held out
joke
my
about
hand,
that?
and he landed on it and kissed my finger like I'm snow friggin' white.
What's our timestamp?
26.
Okay. Thank you.
Why, are you okay?
No, I liked that. I want to use this for the thumbnail. I did
Oh,
that.
that's funny.
I
Yeah.
wanted to remember.
Yeah.
26 minutes ish.
So-
Sorry. How could you even say that about bumblebees?
Oh, it was like a joke. Have you heard of this?
Ah!
Don't
Have I
use
heard of-
your wasp glove on me.
Have I heard of this?
Of a joke?
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you heard. I thought there was like something going around on TikTok about like bumblebee jokes or something. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you're off social media, man. You haven't heard about the bumblebee jokes.
Yeah, there's this like running joke. Everyone's being mean to bumblebees. You get to see a bumblebee go, oh, isn't that nice?
How dare you
Flipping
do that
off
to
bumblebees.
bumblebees? Don't be mean to bumblebees.
I got another.
Honeybees are good though. They're helpful.
Well, they're all good. And apparently, okay, here's
No, not all of them.
well, here's another fun fact I learned. So bumblebees also make a type of honey.
Yeah.
But it's not in an amount that would ever be profitable or harvestable. And some wasps even make their own version of a honey, if you can believe.
I disagree.
Question, 1 second. What? Yes, give me 2 seconds, because that actually leads into something that I wanted to do.
Oh, Judah's leaving.
No. Turn the light off, please. Please continue. I'm just
Judah's changing the lighting.
I'm just tilting this. Yeah, that's fine. Just don't bump it or I'll kill you.
He said, "Don't bump it or I'll kill you" to his wife as she proceeds to immediately bump
Not
it.
even bump. That was not a bump. She like practically picked it up.
That's funny.
That was very fun. Oh, okay.
That's funny.
Aimed at the couch. Would you just?
You guys are seeing marriage in play here.
Ah! She hit me. She struck me.
I saw it. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. She just hit him across the face. Did you hear that?
It is funny.
That was actually him hitting me.
You can't
Whoa. She hit him. No, guys, we're kidding. He clapped his hands and went, ouch, I got hit.
I just had
No
to-
one hit. They're in a committed relationship. They don't hit each other. Right?
I hit myself.
Only when what? What did you just say?
I hit myself.
What did my headphone ears hear?
Hopefully nothing picked up on the mic. I hope. So, can you see through those? No, I don't think so.
I cannot see through them.
Okay, so first thing I was like, you know what? Let's friggin'
Oh, what are you saying? Oh, dude,
Is that fun? Is that fun?
that is fun.
I feel like that's way too dark though. I feel like it's gonna make this file really big.
Whoa, has that always been a colored lamp?
Has it always? It's always had the option.
Wow.
Yeah, but I rarely do actually do it.
That was kind of the way that she closed that curtain was kind of like how people in like show or in theater shows
It
on
felt
stages
very
they
theater.
put their foot in, they go
Yeah,
shut it.
yeah. Well, it's a big audience out there. Opening night, I'm scared.
Whoa. Like that.
So here's a funny little anecdote for you. I was also in Bradford recently, if you can believe that.
I cannot.
And it was me and the fam. We were hanging out on Mother's Day, and we decided to go for.
Oh, well, now I can believe it.
Yeah,
Your parents live in Bradford.
true. Anyway, that's the story. No, we went for a walk to go get ice cream,
Okay.
and there was a lot of cops around for some reason. Now, my brother can be quite funny. He's a very stoic guy a lot of the time.
Okay.
I think similar to your brother.
Yeah.
But he can both, and unlike your brother, my brother can be quite goofy, but a lot of the time he's quite stoic. I've never seen your brother goofy.
He can be goofy.
Really?
Yeah. When he
Okay.
wants to be.
So my brother, he can catch you off guard sometimes with
Right.
the goofiness. It comes out of nowhere. Sometimes
It probably makes it funnier.
It does. So, are you familiar with like motorcycle culture?
No.
You don't? Would you know what symbol?
She shut the light off.
Did you step on it? What happened?
This is fun.
Oh, jeez! No!
Sorry, continue. Motorcycle lore.
Do you know? Would you know what symbol, like a hand gesture, a motorcyclist would use to tell another motorcyclist there's a police officer nearby, or
No.
like coming up?
No. What is it?
It's one of these. Little tap on the helmet.
Oh, that's
right?
fun.
Yeah. So that's there, like flashing the high beams.
Right.
So we're walking. We've seen a few cars, a few cop cars, and not like hiding, like fully like blocking streets. I'm like,
Right.
what the heck's going on? So my mom, being my mom, we pass one. She goes, "What the heck?" She's doing a hushed whisper. What is going on? What is that? And then I make the joke. I go, "You should ask. You should ask them what's going on." And she goes, "I will." And
What?
I go, no, don't. And she's like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask." Would you?
Judah's wife said that first.
She
apparently.
said it for. No, she didn't. Anyway, so then, a bunch of funny happened all at once.
Okay.
Two motorcyclists roll up next to us, and because of the police officer blocking one of the roads, it angles all these cars into like one lane of traffic, so it slows down.
Right.
So the motorcyclists are stopped behind like a sea of cars. They had passed us, but now we're kind of gaining on them.
Right.
And as we're walking by, Graydon does a full like. The cop is like 10 feet away. And like he's right there. And Graydon just like goes oh.
That's good.
And
That's good. How'd the motorcyclists
I don't know.
react?
They didn't really like. They kind of just like looked away. And I think they were like very stupid. Like, so here's the other thing.
That's
I
so
think
funny.
he was clearly making fun of them.
Yeah.
And I think it maybe had something to do with their license plates. So one of them was something like too faster than you or something,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But then the other one, which was like 100 times more egregious, it just said OMW number 2 FYB. I'm sure you can put the pieces together. So I went, oh, classy. And then, yeah, Graydon hits him with a...
That's very funny.
And then, not 20 seconds later, traffic has left, and my mom goes, "Hey, what do you guys do? What's going on?" And the cop, she just goes, "Parade." And my mom goes, "Huh."
That
was it. That's all you need? Like, no follow-up.
Huh.
Yeah. And then that was it. And then
That's funny. That's
Maddie,
funny.
my wife, did not see the license plates. So when we were chatting about this story later, and I went, yeah, it's kind of like those guys were a little lame. And she goes, why? And I lettered out the thing,
the license plate.
and then she went, like, is that a TikTok thing? And I went, what? She goes, yes, you did, because
My favorite thing about Judah's stories is that as he tells them,
yeah,
Maddie
my wife
goes,
yells,
I did not say that.
Yells from off, and then I'm about to embarrass her because she did, because she misheard me. She thought it was OMW to FYP. Anyway, you don't have a mic. They can't hear you, so it's impossible for you to back it up. But anyway, don't worry about it.
it was a bit.
It wasn't a bit. She didn't know. And then
We should give her a mic.
no.
You know what? Do you want to come take my seat and clear this up? Feel free.
But then
She was being silly goofy. Was she being silly goofy?
She
Judah?
was after I clarified, because
She's gonna cry. You're gonna make her cry.
so then
I've never heard her this adamant about something. Usually she quietly corrects you, but she's yelling.
After I clarified, she went, and this is how I knew it was a bit. She went, well, what does that mean? And then I don't remember how we got to the finalized bit. She started it, but I think I achieved the perfection on the bit where
Okay.
I went, yeah, I think it stands for on my way to finger your butthole. I know what you said, and then I advanced and took it to the next level. I yes-anded you. It's the beauty of improv. Okay, I love you very much. You're very funny.
I yes-anded you. Yes-anded, nerd.
And then Maddie went, well, I guess they were pretty progressive. And yeah, so actually I think those motorcyclists were like really cool guys. Well,
Fair enough.
I guess if you're offering.
Next time, just
Yeah.
turn around.
I it's one of those things where it's like I wish I had enough, like the level of like my brother being like,
Yeah, that is
it's very funny, and I wish I had the thought to pop into my head in the moment, and then also the courage to be like, what does that stand for? On my way to finger your butthole? Which I never would say, because they'd be like the type of person
They would have killed you.
The type of person who has that on their license plate is not.
People who drive motorcycles are only criminals.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Sounds like what you're saying. Like they would have hurt you.
Well,
Because only criminals, tattooed criminals, drive. I mean,
Yeah.
you're kind of 50% there.
if you have a tattoo,
You just need a motorcycle and to commit a crime.
I don't need a motorcycle.
I did. I said that.
You s-
You need a motorcycle and to commit a crime. Or did I say tattoo?
I don't. I've already forgotten. I think you said motorcycle. I think I'm.
I think I said you need a motorcycle and to commit a crime.
Well, I got one of those things.
Have you committed a crime?
Let's just say the CRA. No, I'm kidding. That's gonna. I pay my
Guy's
taxes.
Tax fraud. Tax fraud.
No.
Audit him.
No, please. That's how it works.
Do it.
They hear it and they go, okay.
Get an email the next
They
day
hear
from
you
the CRA.
going, audit him.
We're going to audit you.
No.
We're going to audit you.
Yeah.
Being audited by the CRA is dumb.
Ben said,
I've been audited one time.
you got audited?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because of my tithing.
Because you gave too much money to God.
I guess I gave too much money to God, so they were like, "It's impossible that you gave this much of your money to God." And I went, "I did."
Yeah.
And they were like, "We have to see all your stuff." I'm like, "Okay." So I sent them all my stuff, and they're like,
What?
and then I never heard from them again.
What do they ask for?
Like all my tax documents, like everything, all my T4s, all my tax receipts
Yeah.
that I would have inputted.
But they're
into
not
the-
like, okay, here's my fear of being audited, right?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you hear from, it's usually like older generations
Yeah.
where they're like, oh, you never throw it away, a receipt. You have to keep that in case you get audited.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are they?
I keep them for the year.
But I mean, like, are you keeping, like, you go to Sobeys and you get groceries? Are you keeping the receipt?
No. Not for like one purchase.
That's what I mean.
I'm talking like if I have like a tax receipt.
Yeah.
From a charity.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for like,
yeah.
For like whatever, $6,000.
Yeah,
And I'm just
that
like,
I know.
Okay, I'm gonna hang on to this.
Yeah.
All my main pertinent docs are filed away.
Okay.
I still have like 27.
Right, but they're not asking like, oh, you went to Jack Astor's on November 12th. You got that?
No, they're not asking for
Okay,
that.
thank God.
They're asking for like the big numbers.
Right.
That jump out.
Yeah.
And because
How'd you get that Ford F-350?
because we get like we typically end up with returns
Yeah.
because even if we don't pay enough tax, it's usually offset by the donations.
Right.
They're right off of that because both me and niece do 10%.
You give so much money.
It usually ends up being enough to offset everything.
Right.
So in this case, I guess we were already due for a return this year, and it offset it even more.
Right.
And we ended up with quite a large return.
Right.
And I think that just kind of like tipped off the CRA's system and was like, whoa. Something's wrong here.
Right.
And then someone reached out to us and was like, we need to see all your crap. And I was like, okay.
The thing,
But it was like 5 minutes.
I don't remember which country it is. There is a country where their tax system, I think, makes sense.
Nice.
I think there's one.
What fantasy world is this?
I want to say, it's certainly not here. I'll tell you. I think it's Australia.
That makes sense. Australia does a lot of things right, I feel like.
Yeah.
And maybe some things wrong.
I mean, well, when you're founded on when your country entirely is built on criminals, you kind of have nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
So I think that I heard this somewhere, and I won't fact check it. I'm actually not going to Google it. I want to so bad, but I won't. I'm going to leave misinformation, perhaps, into the ether. But I believe that I heard somewhere that the way it works in Australia, which to me, arguably, is how it should work, is the government sends you a letter and goes, yeah, this is what it is. This is the number. How much you owe.
Awesome.
Because like that's the running joke, right?
Yeah.
Is that
we know.
Yeah, our
but
government
you have to do it anyway.
Our government, America, where it's like, hey, you owe taxes. Oh, how much? Guess. Guess. No, that's not right.
Go pay somebody to do it for you. Pay somebody to do it for you.
You guessed wrong. Try again. Uh-oh. Guessed wrong again. White collar crime. Have fun in jail. Like, it's wild. And so I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere that Australia, it's like, yeah, they just go, hey, this should be what it is.
Yeah.
And then if you owe, you owe. And if you don't, you don't.
That would be nice.
That would be.
Maybe I don't know if maybe the CRA tipped me off because I do my taxes myself.
Right.
I don't use
no one's filing on your behalf.
An accountant or something.
Right.
Is this still? Yeah.
I think so. I see lines coming up.
I don't use like an accountant or anything.
Right.
I use it like an online software.
Right. I wonder if that's a thing.
So maybe they were just like, this guy could enter whatever number he wants.
Right.
Which is true. I could.
You could.
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't benefit you.
No.
At all.
Well, imagine the ramifications of this situation where I put in some random number.
Yeah.
And then CRA pulls up, says we got to see it, and
Yeah.
I go,
Yeah.
I go to jail. Probably.
I doubt
Depends
it.
how much.
Yeah.
I'm fined at least.
I think that. Yeah, I think that if it was a one-off,
Do you think they would just like make me pay the difference?
Yes.
And let me
I
go?
think so.
You think so? Scot-free?
I think it'd be a slap on the wrist, and they'd go. You'd get one of those like, you don't know how serious this is. You don't know how this. You could go to. I think they'd like hardline you.
I feel like they might fine me.
I don't know why they would though.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's like you're gonna have. I think it'd be like, yeah, you got to pay the difference. Like if you said you made $10,000 and you made $100,000, they'd be like, yeah, you can't do that. I think it depends on the level of it.
Yeah.
Like if you're raking in, $1 million a year, right?
Yeah.
And I think they'd be like, okay, so you don't have an accountant. I think at a certain point, the level of negligence, they'd be like, you have the money to pay an accountant and you chose not to. This seems like you're trying to hide something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whereas like in your situation, you're just a guy.
Yeah.
And they'd be
I
like,
don't need an accountant.
if
I
you
know
were
how to
like,
do my taxes.
oh shoot. I genuinely think if they were like, hey, what happened? You went, oh crap. What? They'd be like, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
It's all good.
Just so you know, this is what you owe, and if you don't pay it, then you go to jail.
Yeah, don't do this next time. Maybe next time use an accountant. Well, listen here, CRA. I know how to do my taxes, so shut up.
Whoa. They don't like it when you tell them to shut up.
Try to audit me again. I dare you.
Dude.
All my affairs are in order. No,
That would be very frustrating.
if I got audited again.
Yeah.
I bet you it'll happen again. One of these years.
I'm sure.
No, I don't know. I don't know what specifically triggered them that year, but they came after me.
Were you married when
Yep.
that happened?
Yep.
Do you think it was because of that?
Because we filed. I guess that was the first year we filed together.
Well, and also, like I'm thinking devil's advocate. At the time, your wife was working at the church where you're giving, in their eyes, a pretty hefty sum of money. So, do you think they'd be like,
Maybe.
are you trying to...
Like the names were the same?
Yeah, and it's like you have a tax receipt from X church.
Right.
Your wife files her taxes saying she works at X church.
That same church.
Like almost like you're trying to be like I could see people doing that where they're like, no,
Right.
I'm donating to the church, and then the spouse is pocketing the money that's getting donated.
True.
Like, did she get audited?
Well, we got audited together.
Yeah, so I
'cause
wonder if it's like-
we filed together.
They're like, you
Yeah.
gave this much money.
Like, obviously we file separately.
Yeah,
through CRA.
but it's together because you're married.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Like-
I wonder if it's like,
our income is taxed
yeah.
together.
So I wonder if it was that where they're like, you gave so much money, got so much in return, and your wife works at
You
the
know what it
organization.
is too? That makes sense actually, because the software that I use has like an AI in it that will because anything I do, like any write-offs I have, can be transferred to Anissa.
Yeah.
Because we're
Yeah.
married. So I think that year, because she also has like a self-employment income.
Yeah.
I think because that year it made sense for all of my donations,
Right, to go onto
to go
hers.
onto her. So she would have, from the CRA's perspective,
Right.
had like whatever
Yeah.
a lot of donations, a lot in
Yeah.
relation to her income on just her.
Yeah.
So they must have been like, what
Yeah.
the frick is this?
From the organization where she gets paid.
Yeah. That's true. I didn't even think about it. That's probably what it was.
They're like, you're trying to offset your taxable income by donating money to where you get your income?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that you're true. I never thought about it.
And
that
then they
way.
look into it and they're like, oh, okay, it's a church
no,
or whatever.
It's a registered charity.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
No,
it.
that's a great theory.
I'm just spitballing.
It's a great theory.
You go home.
Hasn't happened
You
since,
wake
though.
up your wife. You go, babe, remember that time we got audited? I think I figured it out. And she's like, huh? No, hear me out, okay? So,
It's because the donations got transferred to you.
and then because of you working there, it kind of looks a little weird. Okay.
It was funny too, because it was like the shortest phone call in the world.
I
I
bet.
sent them all the documents, and then they like called me, and we're like, okay, so we reviewed all the documents, and
Was that so? That would have
I'm
been
just like,
tax
okay.
year 2023, right? Like or 2022 because you got married and the first time filing
we're
taxes.
filing in 2023,
Yeah.
but it
For
would have been
2022.
2022's year.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that what year were you also dealing with? I don't know. I don't want to talk about all your finances, but remember you had that whole CERB thing.
Oh
Did
yeah.
that ever get dealt with?
No, that's still
Okay, we
I
won't
still
talk
get-
about it then.
I still get mail for that once a month. Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, so I'll honestly talk about it because it's weird. 'cause
No,
it-
I wouldn't.
No.
I don't know. I mean, I know
Canada-
you didn't do anything
honestly,
wrong.
Canada, if you're listening, get back to me already.
Yeah.
No, I filed a request for reconsideration
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
And I get mail once a month that has the balance due.
Yeah.
And then a little letter about all like collections have been suspended
Yeah.
because you filed this request.
Right.
So it's all suspended until we reach a decision.
Right.
And it's been like that for like 2 years.
Right. Where they're like, nothing's. We're still figuring it out.
Yeah, there's been no
Yeah.
decision.
I
So
guess then you could talk about it because it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to talk about
It
it.
was
I
an
won't talk
oopsie.
about pertinent information and numbers, but like, yeah, basically I was like, I spent a ton of time on the phone with them and no one could solve it for me.
Yeah.
So I filed it, and the last person I talked to was like, file this thing.
Yeah.
Request for
Well,
reconsideration.
just for clarity's sake, during COVID, the Canadian government created a program called CERB, which stood for free money. And but basically, if you made a certain amount within the few previous years, and you were no longer able to make that same amount of money because of COVID restrictions and being stuck at
yeah,
home.
I worked at a retail store at the time. It got closed.
So did I. And so you could be eligible to get up to $2,000 a month.
No, it was yes.
$1,000
Yeah.
every 2 weeks.
Yes. So where the So I ended up owing in the end because they, at the very beginning, in an effort to get people money fast, they gave everyone, people who qualified, $2,000 right away.
Yes.
As like as just an effort to get you everything.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and so I got all this stuff. And then after COVID was over, they decided to go back and do calculations, and they determined that some people received more than they should have.
Well, and the other thing, though, because I know tons of people where this happened to, is they were, and I'm not saying they did this like on purpose. I think a lot of it was just in the stress of everything going on and trying to roll this out, it was a big deal, and it did take a lot of, like, looking back, like, that's a lot to do, right?
Oh, yeah, it was a lot
All
of
these
work.
people can now apply every 2 weeks and go, yep, still qualify, and you'd have to check all the boxes, and it was a self-managed thing, and basically at the end it would say, like, I acknowledge that if any of the above is not true, that I will owe this money back. But what happened is a lot of people, as COVID was sort of winding down, the government went, well, we just gave people a ton of money. We're going to have to start making sure we actually gave that to the right people.
Yeah. And some people did legitimately cheat the system,
100%.
to be fair.
But one of the things that I heard happen to a lot of people is they came back and went, hey, you actually didn't qualify because you didn't make enough money in the previous year or whatever.
Oh, fair, yeah.
And then people went, yes, I did. And then the government said, oh, no. We meant net, not gross. And so, but it never said that.
That's so weird.
So then so many people were like, well, I made that gross, but then with taxes and stuff, like I was like $100 short. And they'd be like, oh, so you didn't qualify, you owe us $6,000.
That's insane.
Or whatever.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was just nuts. But then your situation...
okay, people talk to news outlets about their situation that was identical to mine, so I can talk about it on this podcast.
Yours was kind of weird, wasn't it?
Mine is insane. So here's the thing with mine is, so I'll start with I got the 2000, like I qualified for the immediate 2000 thing. However, they sent me an email and said the money's been released. Back in 2020, whenever it was. And they were like, and then I went to check my bank balance, nothing there.
Yeah.
So I go online to my Service Canada account, and I realize that one of the digits in my transit number and my account number, something was wrong for the direct deposit. At one digit. And I was like, I'm like, frick. So this money went to some other person,
some schmo
with the same account number or same transit number.
I think I remember you saying the account number was one digit off.
Something was wrong. Yeah. I think it was like, because it's like an 8-digit account number or whatever, and I had inputted it was like an 8 instead of a 9.
And that's the thing is, like, the way the system worked is if you didn't already have direct deposit, they were like, the only way you're getting this is through direct deposit.
Yeah.
So you have this sea of Canadians who are now signing up for direct deposit for the first time on the CRA website, and there's no oversight.
Yeah.
It's just like, you put it in, perfect.
Yeah.
Here's we're sending money to this account number.
Yep. And at the time I was like 20. Like I hadn't really done this before.
Yeah.
And so I just like every time now when I put direct deposit in somewhere, I quadruple check the numbers because of this happening. So anyways, I put it in wrong. I realized I fixed it. But this $2,000 had already gone out. So I said I called CRA at the time, and it was like a 4-hour wait at the time because everybody was calling.
Yeah, everyone was calling because so many people were goofing. Or so many people were calling, being like, "Hey, I don't know if I actually qualify, and I'm scared."
Yeah, I spent 3 hours on hold 4 separate times just for the call to disconnect.
Yeah.
So like 12 hours I sunk into this trying to get to somebody to let them know that this happened, and then it just didn't work. So what did I do? I went.
Okay.
I said, okay, whatever. This $2,000's in the ether.
Yeah.
And then I just kept getting the 500 every week or whatever.
Yeah.
And because I fixed the direct deposit, and I went, you know what? I'll never see this money. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's what I thought at the time.
Yeah. Which is hilarious to me. That like, I mean, it sucks, but like you were like, man, I'm about to get $2,000.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
you don't.
What?
Yeah.
And you sent it to some random.
And it sucked because like I didn't have a job at the time. It was tough.
Would have been nice.
Would have been nice to have that money. That's why I applied for it in the first place. But it is what it is. And so, but I was just like, the amount of time that I've sunk into trying to talk to somebody here is not worth this money anymore. So I'm like, And then people like I've talked to people about this, and they're like, "Why would you have done that's so dumb?" But they don't understand that back at the time in my shoes, I didn't dream of years later the CRA coming back to me and being like, "Hey, we want this back." I didn't think that would happen, because I met all the parameters.
Yeah.
I checked them. I qualified. Anyways, so in like 2020, whatever, 3 years later,
Yeah.
I get mail from the CRA, and they're like, "Hey, so like you didn't qualify for that initial $2,000. The rest you're good. You're off the hook for the rest.
Yeah.
But that initial $2,000 that we sent out, that was an overpayment, so we need that back."
I didn't even know that happened to people. What was different about that initial $2,000 that didn't?
I don't know.
Okay.
I to this day I still don't know. They're just like, we sent too much too fast. We need it back.
Do you think it? No, that wouldn't make sense. I was gonna say, like, do you think that the person whose account number they didn't qualify, but because your name? But that doesn't make sense, because how would they know whether they qualified or not?
Yeah.
Because it's attached to your social insurance number, not your account number.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
So anyway,
what happened here.
they're like, you owe us $2,000.
They're like, you need to give us this $2,000 back, and I went, okay, never got it.
Yeah.
So then, oh, dude, which started the task of my life.
Yeah.
Calling people. I don't know what number to call. They don't give you a number, so I'm calling all these different Service Canada numbers. Oh, you're going to transfer you to here. Disconnected.
Yeah.
And then I got to start all over again. That happened 1,000 times. Finally, I get through to people, someone who knows what they're flipping talking about. And I go, hey, listen, I got this $2,000, this $2,000 was sent to me years ago. You guys want it back? I never got it.
Yeah, nice qualification. I did not get this $2,000.
Yeah. I was like, my bank account number was wrong in your direct deposit. So someone else has this, but I never got it. And it was the most frustrating thing in the world, because these people would like go, oh, let me check your direct deposit info, and they go, well, this looks right to me, and I go, no, it was wrong in 2020.
I updated it.
I was like, it's right now. And so it started this long thing where I had to go through all my bank statements and show them
that I never received.
Here's the first 500 I got, and here's like this $2,000, and like and everyone, it was people were just not getting it.
Yeah.
And then finally I talked to this one lady months later, and she was like, oh, I see what we're talking about here. This $2,000 went here, and this thing went here.
Yeah.
And I was like, finally, you get it. And she's like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to talk to the bank about that, because it's the bank has to send the money back years later.
But you don't know what account number you put in.
I know. So I reached out to the bank, and I was like, listen, can you track this down for me?
Yeah.
And they gave me like Service Canada gave me like a routing number or whatever, and then the bank spent like months looking, and then there's like, we can't find it, and I was like, so now what do I do? Because Service Canada is telling me to go to you, and you're telling me to go back to Service Canada.
Yeah.
So then I just left it alone for a while.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what, frick it, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And so Service Canada just kept sending me this mail.
Yeah.
And at the same time, people were going through the same thing.
Yeah, of
so
course.
I was reading articles online of people being like, Service Canada is dragging me through this same nonsense. And so I'm like, let's just see if maybe they forgive it all.
Yeah.
Right? Because enough people are making us think about it and going to news outlets. So that never happened. And what they did is they eventually started pulling my you know how people get like GST rebates? And like whatever, the climate action incentive at the time? Not anymore.
So yeah,
thanks, Carney. But they started pulling that.
Yeah, they're like, we're not
and
giving you
paying
that.
the balance with it. And I was like, frick you.
Yeah.
So I was like, now I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Because now I'm paying for money that I never got.
Yeah.
So then I called them again.
Right. To be like, no.
And I was like, we gotta fix this. And then I talked to like 7 more people, and finally the last person was like, I don't even know what happened here, but file a request for reconsideration and see what happens.
Right.
And so I was like, cool. So I sent that in, and that's the last thing I did.
When was that?
Like a year and a half ago.
And now, so you're still getting mail.
I'm still getting mail saying this is how much you owe.
Yeah.
And then,
but then the caveat of like, but it's under
minimum payment is $0.
Yeah.
And then on the back of the page it says all collections have been suspended until this decision is reached. And it's just, I get one of those once a month, and I rip it up and I throw it in the garbage.
That's wild.
I don't know. Eventually, and here's the thing too, is on my CRA account, the balance owing is gone. But I still get the mail.
Huh.
Brad, I don't know what happened. this. I don't know if I'm just on a mailing list.
Yeah.
And they've forgiven this.
Right.
But my thing, one day in like 5 years, this is either going to be gone or they're going to come back and go, we reached a decision. No, we still want this money. In which case, I will have to begin the process again, or just bite the bullet and pay it. And,
Dude,
and
there's
cut my
no
losses.
chance you ever pay that.
There is a chance that I reach a point where I'm just like, I can't go through this
Right.
rigmarole.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in like 4 years.
Right. You start adding
And-
up all the hours you've already been on the phone.
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, that's worth about $2,000.
Yeah, right. And I might reach a point where I'm just like, I can't call these numbers again and go through the process
Yeah.
again just for us to arrive back at,
Yeah.
we don't know what happened with the money, but we need it. So I could see myself reaching a point where I'm just like, I don't even know what the balance is anymore. It's not $2,000 because they pulled a couple GSTs.
Right, right.
So it's like, I don't know, 1,600 or something.
yeah.
And so I'm just like, I can see myself just being like, frick it.
Yeah.
Here. Leave me alone.
Yeah, you're making enough money at that point.
Yeah. But until then, I'll fight here.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. Like, cause right now it just says I submitted the paperwork that I'm supposed to submit.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
everything on my end is where it's
Right.
supposed to be. And these mail things keep coming in once a
Yeah.
month saying that here's what you owe. However, nothing is due yet.
I hope you get this mail until you die.
Dude, like, it's honestly so funny because once a month I'll go to the mailbox and it's just like,
Yep, there it is.
oh, here's the thing. Let me open it up, see if something's changed.
Yeah.
Oh, nope, same mail I just got. I've gotten every month for the last 18 months.
One day,
Throw it in the
One
garbage.
day you're gonna open it up, and in bold red text, it's just gonna say you're going to prison.
My fear is one day it will like they'll hit me with a surprise. It's accrued interest this whole time.
Yeah.
And now you owe like $8,000, and I'll go like, absolutely not.
No.
I'll-
I'll-
at that point, I'm going in person to Service Canada. I've never actually been in person.
How does that work though? Like, well, first things first. I think that's really funny. I think that
It is certainly interesting.
I think that with just the state of like, and I like bureaucracy, when you have that many moving parts,
yeah.
there is a slight chance that they've forgiven this,
And
and
it
there's
just
an
for-
automated system that's sending this mail in.
And they just forgot to send
Yeah.
them. Yeah, they've just yep.
They send it down to
Because
the mailing
on
department.
the online account, which you could argue is the most up to date,
Yeah,
it says that it's gone.
Right.
I can't find it.
it doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say balance owing, but frozen
Yeah,
payments. It's
there's
just-
nothing. There's no mention of it anywhere on my CRA account.
Right.
And so
That's so funny.
I don't know where it's gone, but I still get the mail.
Yeah. To me, on a matter of principle, I don't care if 5 years from now I got a letter that was like, "Oh, we've reached a decision. You owe." I'd be like, 5 years from now, it'd be 2030. 10 years have passed.
Yeah.
And they'd go, the just the thought of like the CRA, the Canadian government, waiting 10 years to go, yeah, $1,600,
Yeah,
which
we
in the
need this
grand
back.
scheme of things is not, it's
Yeah.
a chunk of change, but it's not.
Not to the CRA.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to then go, yeah, no, we need it.
Yeah.
I would be like, and I'll be dead before you get it.
Yeah.
I will be calling daily.
I know. I'm going to the Prime Minister himself.
But then on the other side of things, when you really think about it, with the state of the economy and inflation, it's every year that passes, it's less money.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're not accounting for inflation, being like, oh,
Yeah.
actually you owe 1,800, now you owe 2,000, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
If we
eventually,
get far enough down the road here, this
Yeah.
is going to be like $160
Yeah.
in my money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'd still never pay it.
I'm still gonna fight him
Yeah.
to the death. Maybe one day I'll decide that I'm sick of it, but we'll see how much money I have at the time.
Yeah.
And I'll just go, this is whatever. Who cares?
Yeah,
Better to get them off my chest.
that's so funny.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I just expect to get this mail forever. and eventually a decision will be reached or the mail will stop coming.
I would love it. And I mean, it's impossible to have this level of foresight because, the first time you get the mail, you're like, oh, okay, weird.
Yeah.
Throw it up, rip it up and throw it out.
Yeah.
It would be so funny, though, if you didn't and you have a stack. You
Yeah.
keep
I
everyone.
just throw it on, yeah.
Until you have like a room of mail.
I think I kept one
Yeah.
in case they try to come at me.
Right. And be like, oh, no, you knew that you owed this.
And I'd be like, nope, this is what the mail has said every time.
yeah.
Which I mean, it would probably be smarter for me to keep it all. But at this point, it's out of spite.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
freak you.
I just think it'd be so funny to like pull up to Service Canada 5 years
Yeah,
from
with
now
like-
with like a duffel bag.
Yeah, 700 letters. They all say the same thing.
Yeah.
And then the one that says a decision's
Yeah.
been reached. What took you guys so long?
Yeah.
No, it's yeah. If it ever happens again, I'm going in person. But it's like it's also like I don't want to explain this to somebody again.
Right.
Where I'm just like, this is what happened,
Yeah.
and I've explained it to 16 of your
Yeah.
workers at this point.
You would be 30 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just being like, yeah, so when I was 20, I typed one digit wrong.
Yeah. And you guys have been chasing me for that
Yeah.
for 10 years.
And you have, without a doubt at this point, even honestly, arguably at this point, 5 years later, arguably, have probably expended in terms of like paying people who
Yeah.
work for the CRA.
yeah, way more.
Oh,
Way more than 1,600.
Yeah.
They have expelled it just in mail.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just in the paper
Yeah.
because Service Canada documents, it's never like one page. It's like 100 pages
Yeah.
of just random info.
Folded up pieces of
and
paper.
one thing that actually matters
Yeah.
to you, and then like an envelope to a return envelope.
Yeah.
So like just in mail costs and paper alone,
Yeah.
I think they've exceeded $1,600 in the amount of mail they've sent me, and that's not including the man and woman hours.
Yeah.
That have been spent on the phone with me,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
trying to like work my way through this.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this point, I don't know what the future holds for this.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll hear about this and finally reach a decision. I don't know, reach one, and it
Yeah.
better be, this isn't worth our time. Go and be at peace.
Yeah.
Because yeah.
I remember in 2020 when I was like, we were hanging out, we were at your parents' house,
yeah.
and I remember going like, dude, this $2,000 is pretty sick. And you went, brother, I
Yeah.
remember being like, what? And like your eyes went wide and you went, dude.
I don't know where it is.
Yeah. You're like, they said I have it. I don't.
Yeah.
And then like 2 days later, you being like, you'll never guess.
Yeah. And for everyone sitting at home who's like, you should have figured this out back in 2020, shut up. Because I tried.
How could you possibly have known?
I could not have imagined that they would have chased me down for money that I never got. And like I've given them bank statements. I've given them everything.
As soon as you realize, I remember you told me, you went, dude, I put the number in wrong.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. So
Yeah.
I was like, someone else has your money? And you
Yeah.
went, yeah. And now I got to deal with this.
Yeah.
And then I remember you said, I was on the phone with them for
Yeah.
3 hours and the call disconnected. And I went, frick it. And then I was like, frick it? You're just going to leave it? And you went, well, no, I'm going to call back later, but I'm not calling back today.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I remember like a while later you went, I've called like
Yeah.
3 separate times or
Several
however many
times.
times.
Yeah.
And then being like, so,
What do you want me to do?
and then,
Yeah.
and then I remember you, which is exactly this point, going, I'm not fighting to prove, like, I didn't get the money.
Yeah.
And I
I
don't
never
need-
got this.
Like, so I'm like, and you just went, so we'll figure it out.
I just figured that it was in the ether and that someone got it.
Yeah.
And the CRA would not chase me down for it ever.
Yeah.
And you could call that naive, but I'm just like, I don't have this money. And
Yeah.
even in that, I assumed that had they chased me down, showing them a bank
Yeah.
statement where this $2,000 never appears on
Yeah.
there. Like unless I sent this money to an offshore account in the Caymans, like I don't have this
Yeah.
money, CRA. I never got it.
Yeah.
And I've shown you that. I've shown them banks, dude. I've shown them everything.
Yeah.
Everything I could possibly show them to prove
Yeah.
that I never got this money, and they're just like,
Yeah. I would, yeah.
someone's got to pay
I'm
it back.
so petty, too. Like, I mean, you know me. I've been
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
even more petty for less.
Yeah.
But yeah, if however many years pass and they go, yeah, you owe, I would then immediately get to work, and I would start trying to recollect, and I would try and even pinpoint dates, but it would be really hard. But I would try and pinpoint dates of phone calls, and I would add up hours, and I'd go, okay. So at my job, I charge X amount of money per hour.
Yeah.
And this was time I spent dealing with you, not getting paid. So actually, I'm billing you $2,000. You owe me.
Let's call it even.
Yeah. I've spent however long.
That's what I did.
man.
Let's just you know what? I'll do you guys a favor. Let's call it even. And we can just walk our separate ways.
I didn't get the $2,000.
The next time this happens, I'm going to CRA in person, and I'm explaining this whole rigmarole nonsense. And honestly, I'll just show them this podcast. I'll say, hey, What do you got? 20 minutes? Let's go. I'll go. Let's watch. Starting at 30 minutes or whatever. I've explained the whole situation in this podcast. Watch it and then tell me what the hell I should do.
Yeah.
Because I've done it all.
Yeah.
No, it's at this point it's reached just funny.
Yeah.
For me. Because now it's just like even niece knows. Like she's like, oh, you got.
Yeah, you got. Here's
your Service Canada mail again.
That's so
the
funny.
same thing, and it's like the funny thing is too is that now even my family knows. Like even my dad, my parents, they all know. But at the time they'd be, oh, you got the Service. It might be a check. You know how it's always a right.
Yeah.
Whenever you get Service Canada mail,
right,
and you're like, oh, a check.
Yeah,
cool.
It could be your GST or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm just like, it's not. And now it's just like, here you go, because we have the same mailbox. Oh,
that's awesome. That's so
funny.
Title of this episode: Ben lost $2,000 and the CRA is pissed.
If anybody's at, like, if any news sources are out there who want to help me in my fight against the CRA, feel free.
Yeah.
I would love to do a story for you.
Countersue.
It's a fun story.
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time.
They'll be making documentaries about this story after you sue the Canadian government for stress.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Distress.
Yeah, distress. Not. I'm suing not for any stress. Distress right here.
I want $7 million in damages.
Yeah.
What damages, you ask?
This used to be like a well-oiled machine, and now look at me.
The amount of time that I have to spend ripping up and throwing out your letters.
You ever see Harry Potter? You ever see the first movie where Uncle Vernon's ripping up all that mail and he goes bonkers bananas bonkers crazy?
Remind me when I get it the next time to show you.
Dude, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'll show you it all.
That's because I've known this story.
I just got one like a week ago.
Since
so
2020.
3 weeks,
It's gonna be a bit.
Yeah,
but I've known this story since it happened, and then I just kind of assumed I assumed it would have been dealt with.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're like, no, this is
it's still
once
ongoing.
A month I'll get a piece of mail. It's so funny to me.
I don't know what's happening. It's on the ball's in their court. It says it on the mail.
Yeah.
Their decision has to be reached, and it hasn't been reached yet.
Dude, the amount of
the day
money,
they reach it,
the amount of money. Like, is there a guy in a room who just gets handed files and he has to sort through and go, yeah, this person owes because they got the money and they didn't, but then they get yours and they have to pour through bank statements and all these calls, and because all the calls you call,
it's all recorded.
Yeah, and they go, this call is being recorded for quality assurance, and then so he's got like hours of like transcripts written down.
Oh, and he's gonna hear some funny stuff because I got angry at sometimes. Like, I'm sorry. I apologize to the Service Canada workers who had to work with me. I know that it wasn't your fault, but I took a little bit of frustration at the Canadian government out on them at some points because I was just like,
right,
how am I here? How are you guys not getting this?
It's one of those things though, and we need to wrap up, but it's one of those things where it's like you've been on the phone for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you've half explained the situation, or you've explained the situation at varying degrees of length.
Yeah.
Because you'll explain it and then you'll fully finish, and then the person you're talking to goes, oh, yeah, no, I can't help you. Let me transfer you. And you go, oh. Yeah. And then the next time you start and you get halfway through and they go, no, sorry, wrong department. And then, you finally get to 12 people in and they go, so what's going on today, sir? And you have to go, look, I've been on the phone for 3 hours. And you start explaining it and they go, everything seems fine on my end, and you go, but it's not.
Yeah, they hit me with the nonsense where it's like, oh, the direct deposit looks like I have statements here where the $500 that you got came through. And I'm like, that was after I changed it. What part of this do you not get it? I corrected it halfway through.
Yeah,
I've showed them, man. I've showed them the bank statements where it starts.
Yeah, no, I get
where it ends.
I'm not proud of it, but I've had moments where I've been rude. To a service.
I've lost it on them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Do you think, well, that's what it comes down to, a pride thing where my brain goes, do you seriously think I'm the type of person to be sitting on the phone for 3 hours and I didn't think to check this?
Yeah.
Like it feels like a personal slight that they think that I'm so stupid that they go, oh, it looks right. And I go, oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know do it.
I'll never forget though the moment the most helpful person that ever was Jennifer. Shout out Jennifer from Service Canada. If you're still
Is that
here.
actually her name?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You know her. You know who you are. I was sitting on a park bench on the Tom Taylor Trail.
Yeah.
I remember this like it was yesterday. And she was the one who was like, I am so frustrated for you because this seems awful. And she was the one who was like, fill out.
You broke down in tears.
Yeah.
You feel so heard.
She was like, fill out the request for reconsideration. She was the one who told me to fill it out. And then we'll see what we can do. Like, someone's got to reach a decision on this. And honestly, for all I know, Jennifer threw it in the garbage. Like, it would make sense, but
She threw it right into the garbage.
no, like in a good way,
Yeah.
where it was like,
Yeah.
you know what, I'm gonna help this guy
Yeah.
out and like erase this from
Yeah.
our files, but not so much that the mail stops coming.
Right.
But no,
Yeah.
she was.
She just hits one little, just a little beep.
yeah, erase.
Yeah.
No, Jennifer, thank you for at least being a human for like 2 seconds and being like, I'm so sorry, this sucks.
It
Anyways.
does suck. Yeah. Well. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that was scary. Okay. Thanks for listening to the Barely Cool podcast. Hope you enjoyed this story. Feel free to help me in my pursuit of justice, vindication. If you're the person who got that $2,000 randomly and you thought it was a great gift, can you send it back to me, please, so I can clear my
And I
name
can just
finally?
Pay it off.
Please,
Please.
because just someone's watching this. Oh, I got $2,000.
Dude, one of our 100 listeners was like, I
that
got
was
$2,000.
me.
I thought that was just a gift from
Reach
God.
out to me. I'll give you my bank account number. I'll give you the transit number. I'll give you the institution number. Anyways, thanks for listening to the Barely
Thanks
Cool
for
podcast.
listening.
We'll see you later. Bye.
I got that money.
The whole time you've had it.